Hello and welcome. If you're here, you're probably curious about how to regulate your own emotions in a way that is healthy and appropriate, which sounds seemingly simple, but is actually really difficult for all of us to do. So, starting off with lots of love and compassion for yourself, that you're here and you're willing to be ever better. Now, before we dive into actually what is emotional regulation and how we move towards navigating our feelings in a more healthy and productive manner, I think it makes sense to define what it is not. Emotional regulation is not pretending that everything is okay, pretending that you feel completely fine when in reality you don't. It is not stuffing all your feelings down and maintaining stoicism or flat affect, never feeling anger. That is not healthy emotional regulation. None of us are happy all the time or calm all the time. Emotional regulation is not detaching from those feelings. We all, as humans, feel a wide range of feelings, and that is healthy and normal. Healthy emotional regulation also does not mean because we're feeling our feelings that all of our behaviors are valid, which is also where I think people can get things a little confused. To have love and compassion and acceptance for all of our feelings does not mean that we can behave in whatever way we want, whenever we want, in whatever type of circumstances. As adults, it's not socially acceptable. So what is it essentially then? Emotional regulation in a healthy manner is feeling whatever you're feeling in your body, putting a name to it, expressing it, and moving through it. And we'll break those down. Caveat before we get into some of this is, in moving through these steps, this is a general outline, and this does not take into account, in particular, individuals who really have a difficult time feeling safe in their bodies. There's more nuance to that. It also doesn't take into account individuals who have unique circumstances navigating other challenges. So we won't address all of those details. This is a general outline. So having put those caveats out there, first identifying what you're feeling in your body. Where are you feeling what? Maybe in this moment, your heart is pounding. It feels like it's going to explode out of your chest and your jaw is clenched and you're sweating. And that's what you're feeling somatically. That's what's happening in your body. Or maybe you want to scream, but nothing is coming out of you. You're shut down. Maybe you're sinking into yourself. Maybe you're making yourself as small as you can be. Maybe your voice is trembling, your hands are trembling. So whatever's happening in your body, identifying that, if at all possible. Next, putting a name to it. Now, mind you, this is all happening for you. This does not involve anybody else. This is an internal process. Granted, you can say this stuff out loud. It depends on your circumstances, the context, where you're at, all these things. So now that you've identified what you're feeling in your body, what the body experiences, next, can you put a name to this? What is the principal emotion that you're feeling? Or maybe it's two. I'm feeling so rageful right now. I'm so angry. Or I feel so much despair. I feel hopeless. And putting a name to it, or as we mentioned in a previous video about emotional intelligence, If finding words to your feeling is challenging, maybe it's a color, maybe it's an image, but some way for yourself to express, to be able to identify, what is this feeling? So now you've felt it in your body, you've identified it, you've put a name to it. Next, how are you going to express this? Of course, if you're sitting in a work meeting and your coworker presents your idea and gets all the credit and all the glory, and you're sitting there feeling that rage, it's probably not the time or place to fully express that anger outwardly. You can go through this internal process of feeling what's happening in your body, naming it for yourself. And then there might be some expression in that moment. Maybe it's some deep breaths. Maybe it's clenching and unclenching your hands. Maybe not. Maybe this is a moment to pause the expression and come back to it, which is a really key piece, to come back to the expression. If your circumstances do not allow you to outwardly express this emotion in the moment, healthy emotional regulation means you come back to that. You come back to expressing it in a way that is appropriate. Maybe something happened earlier and you were able to express it in that moment, right? Maybe this is something that's more ongoing. Maybe you're dealing with grief and this big wave of despair hit you. How do you express this? How do you express it for yourself? Maybe it does involve community. Maybe expression is, in that moment, really drawing on your support system. Maybe your friend is sitting next to you and you let them know, I'm having a really hard time right now. I'm feeling this grief and it's really hitting me. When we talk about expressing emotion, this could look so many ways. This could take so many forms. It doesn't have to be verbally. It can be. Expression could be, maybe you need to move. Your body needs to purge this. You need to sweat it out. You need to dance. You need to go for a run. You need to go boxing or something. That can be a form of expression. Physically moving stuff through your body. Singing, playing a song on your piano, journaling, painting something. Maybe it is talking with a trusted friend, partner, family member, therapist, your dog. So expression can take so many forms. It may involve another person, but it doesn't always have to. This is where discernment comes in. We don't need to involve everybody else in everything that we're feeling. There are times when it's appropriate, and there are times when maybe it's not. Maybe it's just we need to own our feeling and we need to find a way to move through it. That takes discernment, and it's not always easy to determine if we should involve somebody else or not. So now that you've expressed this feeling, whether it's in the moment you're able to, or you've set it aside because your circumstances didn't really allow you to fully express that, and you've come back to it now after the event or, your social situation or whatever has passed, and now you're able to really return to this feeling and express it. Next, and finally, how are you going to navigate this? So this is where then the question comes in of, okay, now that I've felt what I need to feel in my body, I've named it, I've expressed it, I've gotten it kind of out of me, the intensity, the deep despair, whatever it is, the intensity of that feeling, now that I've gotten some of that out of me, I've expressed it, now what do I need to do to navigate this? Maybe this was a one-time thing and you expressed it and that's it. And you move on. No hard feelings about the circumstances or the person involved. And if that's your authentic truth, fine. Maybe navigating it just means, I just know that I need to move through that feeling, and moving through it for me means whatever it means for you. If that isn't the case, so now that you've expressed this, how are you going to navigate this situation? Going back to this example of grief, knowing that if you're grieving a major loss, a person, a circumstance, so many different types of losses, that this wave, whatever the feeling was that hit you, it's very likely going to hit you again at some point. And so knowing I'm probably going to be hit with this big feeling again, what is my course of action? To know for yourself, oh, I feel so much better when fill in the blank. I feel so much worse when fill in the blank. Or maybe it does involve some sort of relational rupture. Somebody disappointed you. Somebody hurt you. You're angry about something. Should I involve them? Should I share with them what I'm feeling? Do I trust that they will be on board with repairing this rupture, that they have the capacity to? Do I value the relationship enough? Again, the context of the relationship matters. If it's just like somebody cut you off in traffic and you're super mad about it, okay, you express that. And hopefully then, in your expression, part of the navigation process then is, okay, what do I need to do to bring myself down? Coming down from this intense feeling and riding this wave that we all really experience. So the person cuts you off in traffic and you experience this higher state of arousal. Well, ideally, you have some kind of tools. Maybe take a few deep breaths, or, you to talk yourself through it maybe, or whatever works for you, but able to bring yourself back down. You express it and then you navigate it, you move through it. And maybe that's a one and done thing, right? But if it's something in the context of a relationship, it might require a little bit more thought again of, okay, now how do I proceed with this? Do I involve this other person? And if I do, how is that going to look? Am I in a place now where I can discuss this and I'm not breathing fire at them, essentially? So as we round this out, I hope that this was helpful in providing a framework and an outline for what healthy emotional regulation is, and acknowledging that most of us as adults really did not have that taught to us or modeled to us by the important adults in our life. And it's not impossible to figure this out as adults, but it is challenging, especially again, when we didn't have this foundation during our formative years. So I say that to send you all the patience and the love and the compassion as you struggle through this, as I struggle through this, as we all struggle through this. Of course, all of our struggles are different. The details are different, but to some degree, we all have difficulty with this. So to give yourself some grace as you try this on and as you move through it, and as there are moments that you feel like you could have done better, because we've all been there. You're doing the best that you can. And I'm so grateful that you shared your time, your energy, and your focus. Also, stay tuned for more details about each of these steps. Again, this was an outline. Do plan on providing more details about each of these steps and highlighting some of these nuances that I touched on here, but didn't really go into depth. And if there are specific things that you hope to see in a future video and hear about, don't hesitate to drop them in the comments, and I'll do what I can to provide that for you. As always, take good care of yourself. You're so worth it.